So the 91st Oscars are tonight. The 91st Academy Awards happen in just a couple hours, and the world is going to wait to see whether or not Black Panther wins Best Picture. Arguably, the film doesn't really deserve it, in my opinion. I think it's a kind of middle ground Marvel movie. It's a good movie, but it's not something that I would ever sit there and recommend to be Best Picture. It's one that my girlfriend got halfway through and turned off because she found it to be boring. Kind of was a rehash of The Lion King in a certain extent, but it was still a good movie, and a lot of people really, really, really liked it. The problem with it is, though, is that the movie itself is not why it's being nominated or the reason why it might win. It's all about identity politics, activism, representation, and a difference between, well, the ruling class in Hollywood, what they want to see, in middle America. The Oscars as a whole is an organization that I do feel ultimately needs to be destroyed. I have no love for it anymore, and I kind of want to see it eat itself, which would happen if Black Panther wins. So that is one of the reasons why I want to see it win. I'm not kidding you. Identity politics annoys the ever-living hell out of me. We're dealing with it right now with Captain Marvel, and it just keeps building and growing and causing more resentment and division, and it's ridiculous. It shouldn't even be there, but it is, because that's the world we live in. When I look at something like Black Panther and how the movie came to be, or at least how it came to be nominated for Best Picture, I can't help but laugh. Because what happened was, a month after the movie came out, the Oscars, who are under this new leadership, after they succumbed to the Oscars So White campaign, led by Jada Pinkett Smith for a couple years in a row, decided that they wanted to, well, find a new audience, because they've realized that the audience is dwindling. The audience doesn't care, and they're not watching. People are just waiting to see what happens via updates via social media. That's it. So they needed to bring in more people. So they decided to look at the movies that make the most money and then offer up the most popular film award. Which case everyone in Hollywood laughed at them. All the blogs laughed at them. Everyone said, just give it to Black Panther. Even though Black Panther wasn't even the most successful movie of the year. It doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. People took their claws and put it into that movie and tried making it more than what it is. A simple popcorn flick that was a good addition to the already ever-burgeoning Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the way it operates here is that, well, money normally decides the Oscars, which is, I like money in politics, and I don't want that either. I prefer a meritocracy-based award system. Movies that are based upon their merit should win the award. For years, these movies are just been Oscar bait. The vast majority of the movie-going public doesn't care about movies like The Favorite. They don't care about movies like Black Klansman. They might see it on a whim and enjoy it, but they ultimately don't rush out to go see it when it happens. It doesn't fill their talking points. People don't bring it up mostly to a lot of middle America. Now, granted, there is such a thing as word of mouth, which will definitely help some of these movies, but ultimately they're made with one specific goal in mind: to get all the free press, whether or not they get nominated for an Oscar. That does help boost sales. It really does, but not by much. And it ultimately kind of leaves a lot of people going, oh, well, I just wait for the best movies of the year. And they still overlook a lot of very good movies because, well, they don't have the marketing budgets that these things do. It's just an annoyance. It's just an annoyance to me. Now, movies are made for their idea of being Oscar or awards winning films, not being good stories told with good characters, performed by good actors, and then use that as a way to get people to buy it. I've just gotten so disillusioned by the entertainment industry in regards to how it handles the Oscars. And I love the entertainment industry. I really, really, really do. I talk about it every single day. I love reading up on it. I love geeking out on movies and culture and film. But when it comes to this particular award, I just don't care anymore. And I'd like to see it crumble and burn. And no more than what happened with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart said dumb things I don't agree with and I don't like. But he said them a long time ago and he apologized. And we've all said dumb things a long time ago that we don't like, that aren't who we are nowadays, and we've apologized for them. And how you view that is, okay, if a person doesn't say that anymore and they apologize, you let them get on with their life. But not in today's current society. Not in the Me Too movement that's taken over Hollywood, that's destroyed careers that don't deserve it, Aziz Ansari, and going after people like Kevin Hart, trying to derail his career for old jokes that he said, and then giving him an ultimatum if he wanted to host the Oscars, which, by the way, was a long time dream for Kevin Hart, and one that he did not buckle under pressure to. He stood his ground and he walked away, and that caused the rift because somebody told the Oscars no. Somebody told them no, and then no one else wanted the job. So for the first time in literally 30 years to the year, it's a hostless Oscars. And so Disney and ABC, who own the television program where, the network where it's going to be put on and produce it, they realize that the numbers are dwindling. So they're going to be bringing out every celebrity they can tonight in order to present the awards. And then they wanted to cut it for time, hoping that would help. So they cut technical awards. So they heard it even more so. And then the industry pushed back. And so they said, okay, we're going to air the technical awards. They can't win because they're a faltering, crumbling, aging agency. Same with the MPAA. There are old school staples in Hollywood that absolutely positively need to go away. And I understand why Hollywood likes the Oscars, but it does need to die because the same people that refused to host it, the same people that were on the lips of everyone to host it, said no. And guess where they are tonight? Right now, it's 3:38 p.m. Pacific Standard, which means that they're already dressed, already on their way to the Kodak Theater in downtown Los Angeles to go to the 91st Academy Awards. They're going to walk the red carpet, get asked all the benign questions. Who are you wearing? Oh my God, what was it like to be in this movie? And they're going to sit there and give the same simple, canned responses to every single outlet that wants to talk to them, all while they get their picture taken and put in the paper tomorrow for who wore it best, who wore it worst, who was the best red carpet interview, who was the worst, and all of the other vapid entertainment coverage that comes from this particular bloated night. That's what it boils down to. And then they want to go to the parties. And not only go to the parties, but they get the free giveaways, because there's a lot of giveaways that happens when you go to the Oscars. If you present at the Oscars, you get even more giveaways. You get more goodie bags. It's a party night for them. But the rest of us are looking at it from a culture warrior perspective. And that's not right. If they cared as much about the craft, then they would sit there and go, okay, well, I'm not going to partake in the Oscars because I can't host it. Or I don't agree with what happened to Kevin Hart. But no, they don't want to get involved. They don't want to get involved because of the money that backs up this particular event. There's nothing but money behind this. Go back to 1998. What was the best picture that year? Saving Private, or it wasn't, it was Shakespeare in Love. Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture that year. A real big upset over Spielberg's magnum opus, Saving Private Ryan. Why? Because of how Harvey Weinstein played the dirty tactic game with money for the Oscars. This stuff is all ruled by cash. And that's another reason why I want to see Black Panther win. I want Black Panther to win tonight because it will ultimately work to start destabilizing the Oscars and ultimately crumble out the system. Because it will show you that quality doesn't matter. That quality has no play in any of this. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. As I've said many times before, Logan would have been a better nominee for Best Picture in order to be the first superhero movie to take home that particular award. But tonight it's almost all but guaranteed to be Black Panther. And tomorrow, when the industry starts writing all their think pieces and their op-eds about the Oscars and who won and who lost and their points and their opinions, all of the Oscar bait, all of those movies that were created simply to push a narrative and try to get involved in this particular show are going to lose out to a Marvel movie. And it's going to start cracking away at the foundation of the Academy Awards. And after the way they've treated Kevin Hart and after the way they've treated other people, I'm more than happy to watch them die. So yes, bring on Black Panther's Best Picture win. Because everyone will see what it exactly is. Everyone will see the problems that it brings with it. Everyone will see the light shined on the Academy Awards for how its practices have ultimately diluted a lot of Hollywood. And I believe it will also showcase a fair amount of hypocrisy. Well, to a few people at least. Most people who are going to watch the Oscars tonight don't know anything of what I'm talking about and simply don't care. But as a person who loves the purity of the industry, which is a very weird thing to say because nothing about Hollywood is pure, I'd love to see it go to an actual merit-based system. Not one ruled by money, not one ruled by fear, but actually based upon the quality of the film put out there. And not wanting to nominate a movie for most popular film because you are desperately afraid of a losing relevance in the social media age where people are not sitting around their TV watching a 3-hour show where celebrities glad hand each other all over being in movies bought and paid for by somebody else. The same people who bought and paid for their nominations. Black Panther, I think, will be the beginning of the end if it wins Best Picture, which is why I want it to win. I would rather there be good stories told that get the nominations that they deserve, rather than controlled by money and fear. That's how I view them. Curious to know your thoughts, though. Do you guys care at all? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys all later. If you haven't already, please thumbs up the video, subscribe. Have yourself a great day, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. While you're here, feel free to check out that subscribe button. Help the channel out. Or you can watch any of the newest videos and make sure that you're caught up to date with what's going on in Hollywood and entertainment. So that way, when you're at work tomorrow, you can wow your friends with the information you learned from watching these videos. That's right, I said it. Subscribe.